Hello, Olivia. How are you?
Hi, Laura. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Very proud. I'm very happy just seeing all the matching stuff that I have going on. So we'll have
I
to go
know.
shopping and get you a lot of teal.
I think I actually do have quite a few like teal shirts. I'm just wasn't prepared today. I just finished all my doggy walks and then I was visiting a friend, watching her cats when she's going away on vacation in a couple weeks. So I was just figuring out that stuff with her. So I just came back from all the animal things. So I wasn't
Well,
prepared.
I'm happy that at least you made it and that we are testing. It's our second test pre-season mini episode, we're gonna call it. And yeah, so like the goal for us doing this tiny episode is number one, start to find our flow and see how everything feels and especially how everything sounds because we really want to have great quality, especially audio. And last time mine was very bad. So I am hoping this time things are sounding better and are looking better. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have any things that you learned from our last episode?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there was so much I learned from last time and just going through the platform and seeing all the different capabilities of like editing and exporting and all the sorts of things. Because I don't know for you, but for me, I love the editing process of like afterwards filming something and getting into it and then cleaning it up. I think it just like taps into like a part of my brain that I just really love. Like, I'm like OCD, so I like really want things like nice and neat. So it was cool to like test out this new platform for the first time and like see how things work. So I'm excited to go about that, which I feel like a lot of people who do things like this, like content creation, their least favorite part, like the editing part or like the publishing part, but I really enjoy the process of it. So I think it's good that we're doing these mini episodes to kind of work through all the little things that we just did not anticipate going into this, but I think that's part of like the creative process. So for learning.
I know, and honestly, I am the same. I love editing and just going back and make everything glue together and flow better. And also the magic of getting rid of all those likes that I just said like 1,000 in this tiny portion of the episode. But yeah, I think that's gonna be fun, and I'm actually looking forward to do that because something we're doing is that we are basically just like switching what each of us are doing. So last time Olivia got to experience all the editing and all of that part. And now this time I'm going to be doing that. And also we are testing doing it through the app because before we did it on desktop and there's so many things that you need to figure out. So I feel like it's just going to be very fun to have all of these things because I just realized that both of us, we are really coming in not ever using like Riverside or having anything when it comes to this. Like, I mean, we've used Instagram, TikTok, and all those things, but I think we are both virgins at podcasts. So I think it's going to be nice to grow together in this, but it's also a little nerve wracking, all these. Like, I have so many cables here for me, and I'm not using any. So let's see what happens.
That's such a good point about all the likes and stuff that we were talking about. How many times we've said like, and you don't even realize it until you watch back you like talking for like a long period of time. And it's insane because you just don't realize how ineloquent you are until you hear yourself. So I'm hoping, well, we were going to get into this anyways, but like, things that we were hoping to get out of this podcast, just like personally, or what we were hoping for the podcast, like as a general goal. And I think one of the things that I wasn't expecting to come out of this project was learning how to be more eloquent and learning how to process my thoughts and turn them into words in a better way because I'm a very blunt person and I don't mince my words all the time. So it'll be good to process things and learn how I can get better at that as we go along on this journey and go through many episodes and figure out how to do that.
Yeah, and it's so funny because last time we were talking about this thing, and like I was so aware about my countless likes, and then I told you, and you were like, "Oh, I noticed that on myself, but I don't notice that on you." So I think one of those lessons is that really everyone is in their own heads, and that's really gonna be good because like that really helps me get out of my just overthinking everything I do and just know that, okay, I'm going to do it this time and I'm going to learn and then I'm going to do it next time. I'm probably going to continue taking a lot of likes constantly, but at least little by little, we're going to start, like just finding a better way to express. And I think for me it's the same. I even in Spanish and in English it's the same. I just like like kind of like a, I don't know, like rifle gun. I don't know what's the name of those guns in English. But yeah, I speak and it's just like, and even when I did my English test to get my PR, all the categories that I got perfectly in reading, writing, listening. But speaking was so bad just because I wanted to say so many things and I didn't care how I was saying and how I was formulating my phrases. It was just there you go. And it's so hard for me. So I think that is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Today, just having the opportunity to listen to myself. And this has been something that I've been doing with some of my training clients as well, that I'm recording parts of our training session. And then I look back and then it's like, I never finish the thought because I said like so many times. And then I changed my topic and I never ended kind of like my thought process. And it's like, come on, Laura. So I think it's so useful to really listen to yourself and have that to continue improving and doing better next time. And I think for our job, that's going to be very useful in the future. And I also want to mention how for both of us, I think more than like we have our business and we have this, and I think like all the projects that we come into, we are always looking for like the growth that we get from that, rather than, oh, I want to be like famous, or I want to have like, you know, like sell so much or have sponsors. Like I think those are the things that come to our mind like at the very end, but we have all of these reasons of why we do what we do. And I think like this podcast is a really great example of how we're coming into it, for the process that we're going to go through in making this project, and the people that we're going to turn into after doing these things. So I feel like that's the most exciting part of all of this.
I think that's such a good point because me and Ricky talk about this all the time. Me and my husband, we would hate to be famous. Being famous sounds like a horrible position to be in. To be like scrutinized and to be always watched and always under a microscope seems like a really terrifying and anxious position to be in. But I think this is something different because we are coming at it in finding passion through like creativity and wanting to create more content and speaking to people. And he was actually asking me right before this, he's like, what's your goal about this like podcast? Like, what do you hope to get out of it? And I was like, yeah, that's a good question. And I didn't realize we were going to talk about it today, but might as well get into it. And I think a platform like this provides such a great opportunity for me personally, just to learn from other people. You don't realize how stuck in your own bubble you get sometimes because you're just doing the processes day in and day out. And yes, I'm like learning and I'm educating myself and taking classes from other people, but sometimes you get just stuck in the same way of thinking. And it's really hard to expand that when you don't consciously take like a step back and really observe and see what it is you are absorbing and intaking on a daily basis. And I feel this podcast is going to give us a really great opportunity to reach out to people that we would normally talk to, or people who just have a completely different perspective, not even trainers, not even walkers, people who have really unique and interesting life experiences with dogs and what we can learn from them and what they've gone through. So I think that's going to be really great for me personally because I haven't been doing this insanely long. It hasn't been like years and years and years. And like I always think you have opportunity to grow and learn from people and you never stop learning. But this is really going to give us a great chance to dive deep into these people's minds and really chat to them about things that we're really curious about, and just hear a different perspective overall. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And I feel like also that's why we can like flow so easily together into like the project and how everything is coming together. Because it's the same for me. I was talking with Fernando, my husband, and I was just saying of how like sometimes I may sound very, you know, like ambitious into what I want to build and I want to create, but it's not coming from a place again like that, you know, I want to be famous, I want to be that. Like I would love to, I'm working on being more driven by money because I used to be not on at all. And now it's like, okay, maybe, like it's not a bad thing to have that too. But for me, a lot of things come from the excitement of being able to do something. It's like just Curious Nuts really started for me giving myself the dogs for me to practice and get better at trading. So I think it's always like the means to an end. And it's really based on what gets me excited and the kind of person I want to become. And then putting myself in positions where I help myself get there. So for me, this project is also the same, kind of like how we were talking the other day, just simply learning to speak, to put my sentences together. Because it's so funny, once sometimes you have thoughts and everything makes so much sense in your head, but then you try to explain that and then you get lost or people misunderstand. And you really have to choose your words carefully so you are able to transfer whatever is in your head successfully into another person's mind. And I think that's such a big challenge. And that's why we find all the problems we have in this world, because it's so hard to do that. And we not always acknowledge how hard it is. So I am very excited also for that, for having that opportunity to chat with people, to be able to put my sentences together and my ideas, and also to have that glimpse into someone else's story. I learned so much simply listening to people's stories. You don't have to convince them to be something, or you don't have to always be selling an idea. Sometimes you just have to listen, and the experience someone has is just as valid as mine. So I feel like sometimes living through their eyes and through their experiences just expands that perspective, as you mentioned, of how it is to be like sharing life with dogs in so many different ways. That really gets me excited.
I know we're gonna be so smart by the end of this podcast series.
I hope. At least sounding smart, if anything.
We're gonna be geniuses.
And millionaires.
One thing at a time, Laura. One thing at a time.
Ricky's gonna be like, mm-mm-mm.
Ricky's like, I've already accepted that we're poor, and if we happen to get rich, it's gonna be a great surprise.
Exactly. You have to enjoy being poor, and then everything else comes on the side. But yeah, I love that we at least capture our hopes and dreams. And like, it's funny when you start a project, what scope you see in front of you, and then looking back maybe like at the end of this season and saying like, oh, look at that, like, like we nail it on the head. Or maybe it's like, wow, like we got surprised with this new thing that we weren't expecting. But at least we have it recorded in our ignorance at this moment, because we don't know what we're getting into. But I think that's part of the fun.
Exactly. As long as we're having fun and this is something that we're enjoying doing, there is no losing in this. Like it's all a win.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we have a solid try. I honestly, if my audio is shitty again, like people, I'm gonna be very angry. But we'll do another test, and hopefully at some point we'll be ready for our big episode, because I cannot wait to hear about Olivia and how she came to be Oliver.
It's such a fascinating story.
I think every story is fascinating in their own way. So I'm sure we're gonna pull some goodies out of that one.
Honestly, that's so true. Everybody has such an interesting story. Nobody is boring, so it'll be great to listen to everybody, including yourself and me and anybody that we're inviting to this podcast.
So yeah, I think that's our wrap from our second episode. So yeah,
Sounds
we'll see you on the
good.
next one.
All right. Bye.